The Cast Compass Podcast, hosted by Michelle and Lisa Cast. Welcome to the Cast Compass Podcast. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Lisa. And we're a couple of moms, and your hosts on this wild, beautiful ride called life.
We're here to help you navigate your next phase, whether that's family building, career shifts, personal growth, or rewriting the story of what your life should look like.
Our path hasn't been traditional. IVF, job losses, parenting through chaos, starting over in our 40s. But we've learned how to trust our gut and follow our compass, even when it's scary.
Each week we'll bring real talk, a little astrology, a lot of heart, and stories that make you feel seen.
So if you're craving connection, clarity, and maybe a cocktail along the way,
welcome home.
Welcome to the Cast Compass Podcast. We're Michelle and Lisa, partners in life, moms to our 3-year-old son, Leo.
And guides for anyone navigating their next big chapter. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Lisa.
And this is episode 6.
Saturn and Aries, a new cycle of bold moves and big lessons.
Oh my gosh. Not like that's anything familiar to us right now.
Oh God, I know. Thank goodness, right?
So today is going to be all about astrology,
Very
the planets.
exciting.
Yeah, we haven't done this yet.
I know.
So hopefully people are into it. I'm into it. And if you've been feeling the urge to burn it down and start fresh, this is why.
Even if you're not into astrology, this one's for anyone feeling something big is shifting.
A little intro. Saturn is moving into Aries. What does that mean? Saturn is the planet of structure, responsibility, discipline, and life lessons, but not in a punishment way. It's more like the wise elder pushing you towards mastery.
It's the cosmic grown-up force that forces us to face what's not working so we can build something real and lasting.
And you'll see that come to life when we talk a little bit later about how we've seen the impact of Saturn in our lives. But like we said, on May 24th of this year, 2025, Saturn moved into Aries, kicking off a new 2.5-year cycle all about bold beginnings, personal identity, and taking ownership of your path.
But here's the nuance. It dips back into Pisces in September.
Pesky little retrogrades.
Before fully committing to Aries. That retrograde period gives you a preview and time to rework what's out of alignment.
I love that for us.
Yeah, it's like, okay, wait, if it doesn't feel totally right,
Yeah.
Dipping into Pisces is going to give us a chance to be like, okay, this is how it should go.
By the way, I just had a full-blown deja vu moment.
No.
Like I lived this right now, right here.
Wow, that's so freaky.
Like every little element.
I love a good deja vu.
That was so weird. And it was like really like a big dream. And like here we are living a big dream.
That's right.
I'm talking about Saturn in Aries. Wow. Anyway, I wish that there would have been a Pisces moment today because it has been a manic one. But just to bring it back to Saturn and Aries, Aries rules courage, independence, instinct, and leadership. No surprise, I have Aries rising. So this is a time to make brave moves, but only if they're grounded in truth and integrity.
I mean, that makes perfect sense.
I mean, right?
You don't want to do anything that's not grounded in truth and integrity.
No, I sure hope not.
Yeah, right? Because that just feels like a big mistake.
Yeah.
So, Saturn return versus Saturn maturity. What? This is like another language to me.
I
But I'm
know.
starting to catch on.
You are.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
So how that's hitting us at 42 and 43. I'm 43, Michelle's 42.
Almost 43.
So we're both past our Saturn returns. Those happened around 2011, 2012 for us. But now we're in Saturn maturity. A new level of clarity, leadership, and growth is what that means.
I mean, it kind of feels like
I think so.
a little bit strangely like right on the money.
The hard part is that even though there's like clarity, leadership, and growth, it's kind of scary because it's all new.
I know. So funny enough, Lisa and I, we both have Saturn in Libra. Usually if you're born around the same year as someone, you're probably going to have the same Saturn sign because like we said, Saturn stays in a sign for like 2.5 years.
Right.
So my Saturn is in Libra at 18 degrees because I was born in August. Lisa's Saturn is in Libra at 17 degrees because she was born in April. So that return in 2011, it hit hard. Any Saturn return usually hits hard. Mm-hmm. Everyone whose readings I've done so far They're like, oh my God, that's when I got married or bought a house or like did the big things.
Wow. Well, that's when we got married.
Well, yeah. So we got married in February of 2011. We moved to Astoria that May. We both started new jobs that summer.
That was a huge, huge year.
And we were really deep in our wellness journey.
Very interesting.
Tricky little Saturn.
So Saturn's in Aries, which is the opposite sign to Libra, activating a new cycle around leading from the self. It's not about being selfish. It's about reclaiming agency, which I feel like, again, that's what, especially you, it's what you're doing.
Yeah, by leaving my career.
I'm taking the control. Right. I'm taking the reins.
And it's funny because Aries is about self. Libra is about relationships. So it's no surprise that they are opposites. So yeah, it's about owning your power instead of deferring to others. And Saturn isn't asking for perfection. Damn Saturn. But it is asking for...
Thank God.
I know, that would be very Virgo of it.
Yeah.
It's asking for integrity. So I have Saturn in Libra, as I mentioned. It's in my 7th house. So the 7th house is actually, not to give too much of an astrology lesson today, it's going to be a little bit of an astrology lesson. Hopefully it's palatable for everyone. So the 7th house is actually ruled by Libra. So my chart is a natural chart. So Aries rising, which is the first house, and then all my houses and signs pretty much.
Oh, they go in order.
Yeah.
Oh, lucky you.
I know.
So neat.
So neat and
organized, just like you.
So my return was all about boundaries, partnerships, and releasing codependent tendencies. Funny enough, I didn't really start working on codependency until later, but I could see some of that during that time. Now Saturn is entering my first house, like I said, because I have Aries rising, and this is the house of identity, leadership, and taking up space.
This lines up perfectly with launching the Cast Compass. Obviously, you're not hiding anymore, and you're stepping out front in the forefront.
What you just said. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So it's once you kind of like get a feel for it, it's really easy to pick it up. And it's honestly, like Lisa said, terrifying and thrilling all at once. But it is aligned, and that's how I know I'm on the right track. So good for that.
Yeah.
So as I said, Lisa has Saturn in Libra as well, but it's in her 5th house. So her return was about creativity, expression, and preparing for parenting.
Which is kind of wild.
Yeah,
because it was a while
early.
ago. Yeah. And now Saturn is moving into my 11th house, which is kind of funny because like 5 and 11 are like 2 important numbers to me. 5 being my maiden name in Italian, Cinque, and 11 was my childhood house number.
Yeah.
So the 11th house is the house of community, long-term vision.
Girl, you got this.
And chosen family. It's calling me to step into visibility in bigger ways.
Well, I mean, look at us doing this.
I love that.
I know.
I mean, it could not be more perfect.
So Lisa also has what's called a 5th house stellium. So that means that she has several of her planets in the 5th house. And the 5th house is ruled by Leo, which obviously to me is no surprise. Also, if you want to look at like Leo and Taurus and say, oh, you're not compatible, this is why everyone should have their natal chart done.
Right.
Because once you look at the bigger picture, all that Leo energy is one of the reasons we are so compatible. There's a ton of fire and creative drive because of that 5th house energy.
And that's called hidden fire.
It is your hidden. Yes, she's paying attention.
My hidden fire. It's so true. You can't just astrology is not black and white.
It's true. And Lisa's a twin. So actually, when I mentioned to her twin sister that they had a 5th house stellium, which was ruled by Leo, she was like, yeah, I'm totally not surprised about that.
So it's all being activated right now. It's time to redefine what community means to me and align with people who feel like home. I really feel that.
I love it.
It makes me feel seen.
So maybe you're feeling it yourself. Are you feeling burnout? Are you making boss moves? Are you feeling endings? Are you feeling shifts within responsibility or boundaries? If you're listening and thinking, oh, wait, I'm going through all this too, here are some signs that Saturn is working for you. You might be exhausted by what you used to tolerate, which I can so relate. I'm actually exhausted by everything right now.
I know.
But specifically, I feel like I used to put up with a lot more, and now I'm just like, I have absolutely zero bandwidth for that.
I don't know if that's motherhood or Saturn's maturity and returning.
Who knows? You might be ready to leave something that once felt stable. Oh.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, how interesting.
How interesting. You might be craving ownership. These are all like so real right now.
Bam.
Of your time, your energy, or your creativity. You might be setting boundaries that now feel non-negotiable, which I feel like we could do a little more.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just about to say. I feel like you could do a little bit more of that.
Probably. And you might be facing hard decisions, and the old way just won't cut it anymore. So that might be some signs that there could be a placement in your chart that is being activated by this Saturn moving into Aries. And if I do your natal chart reading, you could figure it out for sure.
So how to work with it? All of this craziness.
Right?
Journaling prompts, decisions you've been avoiding, showing up. Saturn won't let you ignore what's out of alignment. Sorry.
No.
It's not happening. Saturn is here. So here's how to start working with this energy.
Do you want to take us through some of these journal prompts?
Sure.
Yeah. So I do journal prompts as well when I do my natal chart readings for people, depending on if they have something called a T-square and cross. There's ways that you can work with that energy to kind of release it. Also, there's journaling you can do around your elements and putting it all into balance. But for this right now, if you're feeling Saturn really hard, these journal prompts could be helpful as well.
So here's a few. Where am I ready to take full responsibility for my growth? What area of my life needs a total reboot? And what boundary have I been avoiding but know I need to set? Yeah, that's a tough one.
That's a tough one. And we'll try to put these in the notes, but if you didn't catch that, just DM or comment us and we'll try to remember to like make those a little more accessible for everyone.
Right. And think about decisions you've been procrastinating, because Saturn's only going to keep tapping your shoulder until you move. I know. It's just so many
I didn't
things.
even mean it, but
I know. I felt that.
I know.
I really felt that one.
So here are some helpful rituals that could help. Time blocking. I have to take all my own advice. I really do.
I've been telling you to time block forever.
I know.
Not forever, just
So,
like the last week.
Not to divert here, but like, you know, we've been kind of exploring a little bit more the likelihood that I likely have been lately diagnosed in life with ADHD. And I feel like a lot of these things could also help with my ADHD brain. So time blocking. Voice memos to yourself.
I would like to do that.
That would be helpful.
I think I would like to
I
do
feel like
that.
it would be really cool to just be like, don't forget this thing, or like, get to this thing later. I also like hate listening back to myself though.
Wait.
I know. We're recording a podcast. Actually.
And you edit the podcast?
I hate it less lately. I think I've gotten used to it. Structured coaching containers. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. What's that, Michelle?
Should I tell you more about that, Lisa?
Please tell me more.
So I'm going to be launching a summer coaching, and being a part of a group like that, a structured container, could help you work with both the Saturn energy and any goals that you're trying to achieve. And working with a mentor, a coach, a boss at work, whoever it is, someone who's been through it, could also be really helpful for you to work with this energy.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
So here's how to find your Saturn and what it's teaching you now. So Saturn changes signs every 2.5 years, as we said before. To find your natal Saturn placement, go to astro.com or astro-seek.com.
Or just have Michelle do your natal chart reading.
Or I was just going to say, just hit up Michelle and sign up for a reading.
But you know, if that's not something that you can do at this time,
Right.
These are great resources.
Right.
So once you find it, look at the house that it's in. And that's where your biggest life lessons or deepest karmic growth will show up. I'll give a little quick cheat sheet for people.
Yeah.
Okay.
So people born between the years of 1977 to 1980 or 2005 and 2007, your Saturn is in Leo. From 1980 to 1983, Saturn is in Libra.
That's us.
That's us. 83 to 85 is Saturn in Scorpio. And now you can see that the years are starting to overlap a little bit. So that's where like that 2.5 years, not a full 3 years.
Right.
And it's not just 2. 85 to 88, Saturn in Sagittarius.
Yeah, so there was a time in 85 where it switched from Scorpio to Sag. I have a friend whose chart reading I'm doing this week, and she's born in May, and hers is in Scorpio. So I did another one for June, Scorpio. So it was probably later in the year.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're 30 plus, you're likely either wrapping up your first Saturn return or heading into your Saturn maturity. Either way, this is your time. And if you want to learn more about your Saturn cycles, like I said, I'm always here for natal chart readings.
They're so fun.
They are so
You still
fun.
have to do mine.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
Or maybe by the time this airs, you have done mine.
I want to do yours. Yeah. Because I think we did, like, we've dabbled in it.
Sure. Oh,
both
yeah.
of
I
ours.
definitely
Yeah.
looked at my chart numerous times.
And like I've pulled some of the descriptions for Lisa, but I haven't like done a full reading on her. But I think it would be really good for us and fun. I also am excited to eventually start doing solar return charts. So those are really cool around your birthday. It basically tells you what's coming up for you for the year ahead.
Oh, that's cool.
And my mentor with the astrology group or business that I worked with, she looked at my year this year and she was like, "Ooh, it's a tough one. But next year's better." So come August, things definitely start to lighten up for me. And then the other thing, which I definitely want to do for us, is a synastry report. So then you see, like, you literally take two natal charts. You have to have your natal chart done first. And you lay them on top of each other. And then you see, like, where my sun falls in what house it falls in for you and vice versa. And, like, moon. And then it tells us, like, how we relate to each other.
I love that.
That's something... Any couples listening, you have to have your natal chart done first, but then we can do a synastry reading as well. So many cool things we can do.
Really cool things.
Now, we're going to revisit our own charts, Saturn themes from past cycles. So, we already talked about our Saturn return being 2011 to 2012. After that, our last cycle before this one was in Capricorn from 2018 to early 2021. And whew, looking back, that season felt like Saturn too.
Sure.
Oh my goodness. So for me, it was transiting my 10th house, which is all about career, public identity, and long-term goals. I was stuck in a job I hated. If anyone knew me in 2018, remember where I worked then? I was really questioning what I was doing. And by 2019, I actually finally made the shift into events, which did give me a nice momentary reprieve. I worked with great people, a great company. We had a lot of fun. And that pivot felt like a huge leap at the time. But now the way I see it is that I can see Saturn was saying, stop settling and start building what's real.
And Saturn was in my 8th house. So we're talking major transformation, shared resources, intimacy, and emotional depth. During that cycle, we were also running marathons and traveling a lot and honestly living big. But at the same time, 2019 was when we also found our donor and really stepped into the fertility journey. And then 2020 hit and everything just paused.
So interesting. So COVID literally forced us to stop, like the whole world, right? Truly stop. We couldn't travel. We couldn't distract ourselves with hustle or movement. Like we felt that one hard, right? Saturn in Capricorn was already stripping things down, but then the pandemic kind of took it all away. And that's really when the deeper stuff surfaced, our values, our future, what kind of family we wanted and how we wanted to live. Anyone who knew us prior to that knew that we were so steadfast on we will never live in Long Island.
We will raise a child in Manhattan. It's going to be the best. We can do it. We've helped women carry strollers up and down the subway stairs. We can do this by ourselves.
I mean, we tend to be pretty like strong in our convictions.
Oh, we're totally strong in our convictions.
And we could have done it.
We could have.
But like Saturn was like, y'all, you need a house. Our friends were like, and our family was like, y'all, you need a house.
They were like, okay. But that's another podcast for another day. Looking back, it's so clear.
I know.
The Saturn cycle was about dissolving what wasn't sustainable and building something new from the ground up.
Literally. New life, new house.
New friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, new community. And now with Saturn in Aries, it's not about looking outward anymore. It's about leading from within. It's true, right? So we had to do so many things to cultivate and settle down, build a home for Leo, start to raise him, have him raise him. So, and now it's about, I think we both feel like we're looking within like, okay, what's going to make us happy next? What's going to be the next step to fulfillment?
Yeah, I mean, it's just so strong. And of course, we care about our friends and family, but we care less what the masses think, which is major, I think, for our whole generation. We all care so much about what everyone else thinks. And like, this is not about looking outward right now. It's about looking inward and putting ourselves out there, community, right, to find our people and to know that like people who are down with what we're doing, they're going to find us. And everyone else, well, if you want to judge, that's cool. But like, this is what feels true for us and our family. So that's what we're building right now. And, you know, Saturn came in with the tough love, but look at everything we've built because of it. We literally embodied that cycle. We turned it into purpose, into family, into fire. And I really believe this episode is going to hit deep for anyone listening, because when we tell the truth about what we lived through, people really feel seen. And that's really all we ever try to do.
Right, just to connect.
Yeah. Wow. So that was a lot, but it was like cool. And like, I'm really glad we did it.
Yeah.
I know that it's like not our typical kind of content, but it definitely pulls into like our life experience, everything we've lived through. So I hope that everyone else felt that too. If this episode did hit you in that deep gut level way and you're like, yep, I'm in a Saturn moment, then I want to invite you to something that I'm creating. Like I mentioned, I am launching a summer coaching container starting around the summer solstice, and enrollment is open now. It's a small, intentional space for women 30 plus, or even if you're in your late 20s, who are navigating transition in career, identity, or family and want real support moving through it. And I don't want to just say 30 plus, 40 plus, 35 plus, late 20s. If you're just feeling that this aligns for you right now, like, then you belong, right? It doesn't matter how old you are or what you're going through, because nowadays we all go through the same things at all different ages,
right?
You know, we'll be using astrology, practical structure, and soul aligned momentum to help you stop spiraling and start stepping into what's next on your terms.
And if you want a deeper look at what Saturn in Aries is activating for you personally, reach out and book a reading with Michelle. You'll get clarity, timing, and insight that's grounded and actually usable.
The Saturn cycles are actually a huge part of my chart readings. And it's interesting when I like mention the time periods to people and they're like, oh yeah, that was happening. It takes me a lot of time and work to pull those cycles. There's like a whole database that I look at. So yeah, it's something that's really cool. It's only part of a natal chart reading because it's an inherent part of your chart, how you're affected every time Saturn goes into a new cycle. And also, if you're in New York, I will be at the New York Solar Fair Summer Solstice Night Market in Deer Park on Long Island on Saturday, June 21st, doing mini readings live. So come say hi, get your little mini chart read or question answered, and feel the magic in person. I'd love to see you guys there.
So exciting.
I know.
This is the moment to check in with your compass and get honest about what you're ready to build.
Yeah. I love it. Anything else?
I'm proud of us.
I'm proud of us too. This is like different and fun. And
yeah. We should do at least one podcast on astrology every month.
I love it.
I like that idea.
Thank you so much for tuning in and spending time with us. We're so grateful you're here.
These conversations mean so much to us, and we hope they help you feel a little more seen, a little more supported, and a little more aligned.
We're keeping the momentum going. Next week, we're talking about sleep, nervous system healing, and how everything shifted when Leo finally started sleeping in his crib.
Our sleep coach literally saved our sanity. Literally.
Yeah.
And she's joining us to share how sleep impacts your entire household, not just your toddler.
Yeah, really, truly. We are a testament to that.
And
now he's a great little sleeper.
And it's only been like a year and a half.
Yeah.
But it feels like forever.
I know. I mean, I'm definitely a little nervous to like take him out of the crib, see how that goes. But we'll get more into that in that
For the big boy bed, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Make sure to follow and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if this already feels like home, which we really hope it does, leave us a review and share the show with a friend.
And tell us what you want to hear next. We love hearing from you.
Bye. The Cast Compass Podcast. New episodes every week.
Follow, rate, and share with someone who needs a little direction.